No. Yes, yes, yes. Well, welcome. Thank you. I'll tell you a little bit about 1 Million Cups. I'll tell you why we're here, who we're going to hear from, and then I will get out of the way and let them go. But 1 Million Cups, it's just a great organization. I'm happy to be a part of it. We're one of 100 different community organizations around the country that has the name 1 Million Cups. It started out of the Kauffman Foundation almost 15 years ago, and it spread like wildfire. People really bought into the idea that if you give entrepreneurs change, ideas are solved and businesses grow. It's just a really, really neat idea. In Chicago, we set up a volunteer in Kansas City at a theater where chapter one, it's not just the organizers putting this on, and the presenters will hear from as well. So thank you to the newcomers, because it keeps the community going and just nominated and say, this is what I'm working on, what inspired me to get started, where I am, what inspired me to get started, where I am, what's going great. We get all. And that's probably the most unique thing about 1 Million Cups, is because somebody gets up here and I'm stuck, or here's how you could help. Or if they don't, we literally are asked to say, what can we as a community do for you? And as soon as we ask the question, what we as a community do for you, it changes the dynamic from a networking event or a pitch practice to something much, much more different and more meaningful. And when we help as audience, somebody's going to say, well, I'm stuck with my go-to-market, or I'm stuck with introductions, or it'd be great if somebody knew somebody from such and such. Someone in the audience might be able to solve that, but even more powerfully, someone in the audience might be experiencing an identical problem. And when we feed back to the presenters, somebody else next to you or on the other side of you might be like, oh, I'm so glad I came today because I'm experiencing the same problem and I'm going to get something out of this as well. So I'll sit down, I'll stop, see how we can help. And then we can stick around for a little bit. You can work for the day. I'll show a QR code. You can leave a review of your experience as well. But really, stick around. Even if you have a question you want to ask and I say, look, I'm sorry, we're cutting for time, we're moving on, we'll still be here for a little bit afterwards. So please stay and mingle. A couple of housekeeping things. It's really important that 1 Million Cups knows who attended. We have these laminated floating around. If you haven't already taken out your smartphone, scanned and registered, please let us know. We'll share it with Workbox, we'll share it with 1MC and the Kauffman Foundation. It's just really important. So we'll say this a couple of times. Please register. We're not going to sell you anything. We'll leave that open for just a second. And then follow us on LinkedIn. I think about 6 months ago, we started generating a follower count that was higher than the 1 Million Cups, like national. I mean, it's really great. It's a lot of momentum. People have been following our posts and figuring out where we'll be and who's presenting and what we'll talk about. So follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, and then come present. In about a half hour, you'll have heard from 2 people, and you'll see that we're a pretty good audience. We got good energy. We're here to support. And so if you've got a story to tell, or a business you're working on, or a problem you're working through, come in and chat with us and do a presentation, and you can be a speaker as well. So we'll leave these around, or you can come to talk to somebody in a 1MC shirt, or Alex and Dan, or Crystal. We're all organizers, and we're here to help. We're sponsored. We're sponsored by Spaces. We're sponsored by coffee. It's pretty awesome. Like Cameron, Workbox is allowed us to come and host this today. Sometimes we're somewhere else, but today we're here, and we're grateful to be here because it's a beautiful space, and they're building community just like us. So it's really, really nice to be here at Workbox. And it's really nice to have, we have more coffee. So you'll be able to refill your cups. We have coffee. It's brought to us by U3. They're serial entrepreneurs. In the later years of their career, they decided, why don't we caffeinate entrepreneurs? Because as we were building our businesses, we relied so much on it. So we're building community. They're building community. It's a great partnership. They've been with us for over a year. They also are really participative in the ecosystem. And so it's great to have that U3 relationship, but they think their coffee is so wonderful that it doesn't need anything in it. Put milk or cream in our coffee. So we have a coffee creamer sponsor. We're often asking people to help support. We have pretty close through the fall at the very least. Crystal's been able to secure sponsors through her company, In Good Company. In Good Company has been able to provide coffee creamers either directly or through the network. And so through this network, do we know who did today's creamer? Okay, all right. Well, thank you for the creamer and our additional cups. But please, if you want to just pitch in, the new people don't have to. We hit you up the second time you come. But please click here. Just talk to us. Just let us know. Thank you to our sponsor. Thank you to. Whoop. No, where is it? Oh, this is the wrong deck. I pulled up your QR code. I'm going to bring it back afterwards. I have it. All right. I got to go. We got to move the show along. Oh yeah, this is a QR code. We'll put it back up.
Whose QR code is that?
This is Workbox's. But let's get the show on the road. Richard, you're presenting first.
Oh, yeah.
Where is Richard? Okay. All right. Can we give a standing ovation and a round of applause for Richard? I'm going to put in slide mode. You get one of the. Oh, you have one. Yeah. Okay. Down will advance, and it's natural to aim here, but the thing's right there.
Down will advance.
Yeah.
It's backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. Thanks, Stuart. I'm Richard. I started going here like last year in April before I started building, and like I don't know if I would have built Fee without the support of the community. It was like I was like so like I don't know what I'm gonna do, but meeting all you crazy people inspired me to do this. So definitely.
Yeah. Oh, we have.
Oh, do you need it?
They never work. Let's see. All right. You have to testing. Okay, this one right into it.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, so definitely appreciate the volunteers and everybody. I definitely wouldn't have been able to do this without the support of you. So you go. All right. So Pheno is a valuation execution platform. We help businesses who value investments in companies do their valuations faster, but also make use of the data that they don't use. I spent 7 years in valuation. I valued, any type of company you could think of, any industry. I was part of a valuation, and the process today is incredibly manual and disconnected. So I'll tell you a little bit about how a valuation comes to be so you can understand the problem. Today, you get a valuation. The client will send you sometimes 50 documents, depending, his financial statements, his legal agreements, investment agreements, and all these things are happening through share files. Either like the valuation firm will have a share file, the client will have a share file. You're constantly sharing information back and forth. Once you kind of parse through the information, you figure out what you actually need, then you can kind of start building your financial models. Sometimes it's a PDF, a pitch deck, a report. And between the time you get the data and when you start doing the model, it's a lot of project management. So in a particular quarter, I was valuing 50 plus investments. And if you only have one investment, it's fine. But as volume increases, it really becomes harder to scale a valuation business if you really don't have the connected tools that you need. And at the end of the day, what it all results to is just slower time to delivery. Today, we're at a point where the private markets are really pushing the private valuation firms to deliver valuations faster, more efficiently. When I started, a VC fund typically would get a valuation once a year, but their auditors are pushing them to constantly value these investments. We're valuing the most technologically advanced companies, in the world, and we're using Excel and Word documents to get these valuations done. And so, there's a better way to do it. So I'll give you a little bit about Pheno. I'll touch on the highlights. There's a lot within the app, but really the app is centered around 4 main areas. It's engagement execution, there's firm operations, and these two things really cover all of the manual process that happen within a valuation firm. So you can manage an engagement, you can see the status of these things in real time. You don't have to. One of the least exciting parts of my job was constantly having to follow up with an associate. I'm working on 25 different engagements, and it's like I have to contact 7 different people to figure out what's the status of this report. Are you done with this? Are you able to staff this engagement? And so all these disconnections really eats up time, and like you're in a billable environment that eats into your bonus, it eats into so many things. These last 2 things are what I'm most excited about because they really become possible because we're tracking all the data. One of the interesting things about valuation firms is once the valuation is done, you literally hit that little X in Excel, the Word document, and you don't see the data again. And firms are trying to implement AI, they're trying to do all these things, but they really don't have the data infrastructure that they need to run these valuations appropriately. Like, you know, I'm working with firms, and their biggest use of AI is taking a bunch of PDFs, putting it in the ChatGPT, and saying, "Can you summarize these docs for me? Put it in an Excel sheet," and you can get so much more out of AI if you have data infrastructure. And so, just small, for example, every quarter you're valuing companies. People leave, people move up, and every quarter you have to recreate so much context. And all this does is continue. It just eats into margins. You know, the team gets burned